What's up, guys? Welcome to MLB Dfs Pre-Lock Live. I am here by myself. I'm running solo today. Pete Cole here. But maybe we'll get through a little bit quicker, have some more time to work on our lineups. But anybody that's new watching, youfeelschoice.com, we're probably the cheapest in the industry right now. $35 a month for 6 months for new subscribers. Definitely check us out on our Discord. It's a free Discord, especially the general room and stuff like that. But our specialty is small sports, and we deal with like soccer, Australian rules football, tennis, NASCAR. I know I'm missing some. KBO. Our guys are totally crushing KBO every night. I don't think there's been a night this season where we have a group of guys called the Breakfast Club, and they get up every morning at 5 a.m. and build lineups. And I don't think there's been a morning that they haven't cashed. So, and there's Monday was off, so actually there'll be a slate this morning. So, especially slates like that, and of course MLB is our flagship, MLB NFL. We're doing well on all this. We have a nightly show here, 6 p.m. Usually I have a partner with me tonight, but I'm solo. So we'll just get started. We'll be referring to our cheat sheet tonight. Devin, my boss, actually runs probably the best cheat sheet in the industry, and he's updating it right now. I believe it's the best, but whatever. Weather is actually, this is one of the first nights tonight. I'm not actually looking at Twitter and looking at Kevin Roth and all this and trying to see what the weather is. Actually is a perfect weather tonight. No issues at all. We're seeing in the same, for any kind of like wind hitting environment, St. Louis game, I'm really interested in Philadelphia and St. Louis. It's going to be in the 70s and the wind is blowing out. So I did a stack article today where I actually put up the Cardinals as one of my top stacks. I also like the Phillies, but wind's blowing out 18 miles an hour to left field. So we want to look at that game today. And I could be wrong, and somebody correct me if I am, but I believe that the roof is open today in Texas and Houston. So I was trying to look before. I couldn't find the information, but I think it is. If the roofs are open both those places, that definitely means it's going to help the bats. So we want to look at both of those games too, because we got two or three big stud pitchers tonight. We got to spend some money, so we got to find some value somewhere. And I think I found it for mostly the case. All right, let's start with pitching. Corbin Burnes is our number one pitcher. You don't want to get cute. I'm not going to sit here and spend 10 minutes talking about Burnes. He is the play. Do not fade him. Honestly, I wouldn't even be fade him in GPPs. So say I'm making 20 lineups, like I'm in the 20 max. I'm probably having 17 lineups with Corbin Burnes in it. He's on a level of Jacob deGrom, maybe not that there yet, but he's close. I believe he's actually has a record going right now. He hasn't walked a batter yet this season. So, and even if he gives up a couple hits, he's still going to get us 30, 35 points. I mean, 40 strikeouts, 0 walks in 24 innings. Lock him in your GPPs and move on for there. He's going to be high owned anyways. He's going to get you the points. The only thing I'm saying, like if you're multi-entering, doing a bunch of GPPs, okay, make a couple without him. But if you do, make sure that what I would do, I would be throwing a full Miami stack in there, because you don't know which Miami bat's going to go off. But if for some reason he's off today, and if he's off, he's off. I would roll in. I'm assuming Jazz is leading off for Miami. We saw how Jazz took the DeGrom deep that one day. I would get, a guy like Jazz who's actually leading off. Jesus Aguilar, who's on fire. I think he had 3 or 4 home runs this weekend. So he had 3 home runs since Friday. So he's on fire. A lefty like Corey Dickerson who's bad, something like that. So just to be different, but that's only if you're multi-entry. All right, so Burnes is our top guy. All right, you got for cash, I believe you got 2 ways to go. Trevor Rogers for Miami in that same game. That's kind of becoming a little bit of a new in thing this year in DFS, is pitching players from the same game. I actually did it Saturday night with Lopez and Gausman, and it actually pushed me over the cash line. I kind of had a tough Saturday night where I ended up fading Lowry and Mark Canha at the last second, which screwed me all up. and then that game ended up going. But my 2 pitchers in the same game brought me back into cash. So probably where I'm leaning right now is Trevor Rogers as my second pitcher. Rogers has been just as amazing. Most of us watched that game against the Mets that a couple weeks ago when he faced DeGrom. In that game, he probably pitched just as well as DeGrom. But I am all over Trevor Rogers today as my SP2. I was just trying to look for. I just know he's got a little bit of a walk problem. That was the only thing that would be concerned me a little bit with Rogers, but not enough to keep me off him. So the only thing I think the only problem with Rogers is he does get behind the count a little bit. But he's got an elite CSW, elite whiff rate, a great ERA. The kid's just a strikeout pitcher. You want strikeout pitchers in DFS, and you couldn't ask for two better pitchers in one game for strikeouts. So I'm probably leaning Rogers in that same game as my SB2. If I don't, the other way I'm going to go is Charlie Morton. I'm a huge Charlie Morton fan, and I think Morton's probably like a 1B with Rogers behind Corbin, say. Morton's in a good spot. He's back up to that 30% strikeout rate like he did the last few years. Last year it went down a little bit, but he's back up almost 30%. The thing about Morton is he keeps the ball on the ground. He doesn't walk people. There's no hard contact off him. Strikeout upside, and he's going to give you probably almost 95 to 100 pitches. He's got a long leash. The Cubs, though, the only thing with the Cubs they are patient. They don't walk a lot, but they're free swingers. They're going to swing. So I'm not 100%. I'm going Rogers, but if I don't go Rogers, I'm going Charlie Morton. He's 8K. What's Rogers? 8.4, I think. Yeah, Rogers is 8.4. So they're the same. I mean, honestly, it's more of a coin flip. But right now, it looks like Rogers probably has a better lineup to go up against. Brewers are running out that same lineup. A bunch of righties, though. But when you got Tyrone Taylor batting second, Manny Pena, the catcher, is batting cleanup. Billy McKinney, Pablo Reyes is batting eighth. And this is not a strong lineup right now. So I'm probably going Rogers because you never know with the Cubs. We saw it happen over the weekend. It could start hitting, go off, and Morton could get hit. So anybody else for GPPs? Ohtani, yeah, I guess. Surprised Danny hasn't asked me that question yet, but I'm not running Ohtani in cash. I just don't trust him yet. He does. Another problem, though. I mean, he's only pitched 62 major league innings. He had 50% walk rate, 15%. That's my one question and a pitch count. So last week he threw 80 pitches when they said he was going to throw 75. I'm assuming he's going to get to like 90 pitches today. But who knows? He gets a blister. He trips to run down the dugout or something like that. Next thing he was going in. Also remember, you can't use Ohtani today hitting either. He's on DK as a pitcher. So on DK, I'm going to definitely run Burns. Same on FanDuel. Don't overthink this. Run Burns, and then you got to make a choice as your SP2 whether you're going to go the same game with Rogers or go Charlie Morton. It's a tough one. Also, on GBP, I didn't mention Sean Manaea. I like Manaea a lot too. The Rays we've been picking on the Rays all year, especially if you're a lefty. I mean, Manaea is going to be sneaky because he's not going to have the ownership of the other three guys, but I do like Manaea and GBPs. Anybody else? Probably not. I don't usually mess with anymore with Urias for the Dodgers. Though I'm not messing with Tyler Mahle tonight against the Dodgers at all. I guess you can use Urias in GBPs. Escofini, I kind of do like him today against Colorado, but GBP only. So, yeah, that's it for pitching. FanDuel, 100% Corbin Burns, DK Burns / Rogers, or Charlie Morton. Anybody got any questions on pitching before I move on? All right, so our cheat sheet has been updated. So I'm just going to I'm going to be pretty much looking at ownership and giving my views where I'm looking to go on maybe some GPP plays. So looking at catcher, of course, we all know Gary Sanchez is going to be high owned, right? And he is. I'm looking at like 20%. I'm not a Sanchez guy. Okay, he is in a good spot. So first of all, let's talk. We got Matt Harvey, a right-hander on the mound for Baltimore. Baltimore's a hitter's park. Good hitting environment today. Wind's not blowing out, but it's not blowing in. It's going east to west across the field. But Harvey's going to be the one people are going to pick on today. The Yankees are going to be very popular. So we got to start with Sanchez. Sanchez is going to be popular. Can he lose one on Harvey? Yeah, no doubt. I was hoping Kyle Higashioka would be playing today, but he's not. So if you're a guy that likes to play with the ownership, to me, Gary Sanchez is nothing but a GPP play. But I mean, look at his stats in 2019. He does have 258 ISO against righties, and Matt Harvey's been just. I mean, he's been a gas can. He does have a decent. One good thing about Harvey, he keeps the ball on the ground. Almost 50% ground ball rate. They don't hit a lot of fly balls off him. But when you got an exit for almost 5, a K percentage is only 16, and a walk percentage of 9, that's bad. So Yankees gonna be popular. Sanchez gonna be popular. Sanchez is about 8th today. And this will probably be the type of day where you see him go Yardman sitting so low in the order. He's had after Hicks before Clinton Frazier. I'm not going there, but the cash line, the projections, the ownership everywhere is looking at it. Sanchez like probably 18, 19%. Anybody else? One of my favorite plays today, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper if you want to go down a little bit, is Buster Posey. And actually, the Giants lineup just came out. Okay, and Posey is playing great. So Posey's batting 5th against Austin Jomber, who actually, Jomber's actually hasn't had that bad of a season. He's not a bad pitcher. He's pitching out of Colorado. But I'll take guys like Posey and Longo, Wilmer Flores, who's a lefty crusher all day against Jomber. Posey's actually kind of having a renaissance season. He's been hitting a couple home runs. Was the last week he had 2 home runs in one game. He had double dong. So I like Posey in that spot tonight, kind of a late night hammer type game. He's 3.8. It's probably the cheapest I'll go. Anybody else that we like here? Travis Denard for the Braves. That's another team that's gonna be popular stacking tonight. And so I guess we'll get to that now. We got the Braves going up against Zach Davies. Zach Davies is something's wrong with Davies. I did a lot of digging in on Davies today, and he's not the same pitcher. Anytime you see a guy that exit over 6, when you got a walk rate higher than a strikeout rate, which is so rare, there's something wrong. And there's definitely something wrong with Zach Davies right now. So that's why the Braves are going to be popular. The problem is the Braves are expensive. It's going to be expensive to stack them. But you probably want a couple Braves in your lineup. And here, I mean, Davies is right now, I mean, his ERA is horrible. His CSW is horrible. He doesn't strike people out. His whip is horrible. So the only thing I see as positive against him, he doesn't hit batters. So, but Davies, you want to pick on Davies. Travis Denard is in a slump. He's like a lot of these Braves. This is kind of a get right game for him, but you got to pay up for him. So if you're going to pay up, I'd rather go Denard over Sanchez, but I'm not probably running either of them. Anybody cheap? I put down Luis Torrens, but the Mariners lineup wasn't out yet. And okay, he is catching. He's 3K against Urquidy for Houston. I mean, that may be the cheapest I'll go at catcher. I don't think there's any punt plays out there. Suzuki, the Angels lineup isn't out yet, correct? Oh, the Angels is out. So Trout is playing. All right, good. So Suzuki at 3-3 against Jordan Lyles. Good hitting game, maybe. There's really nobody else. If Maldonado plays against Sheffield, he's 3-1 possibly. I like Posey tonight. If not Posey, I'd probably jot down to like a Luis Torrens, something like that for Seattle. Make sure I'm not missing anybody here. So the Rangers are opening roof. All right, so if they're opening roof, that means a better hitting environment. Murray Drake asked, does the ballpark really help hitting when roof is open? Do we know that ballpark has played big reasons about? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just I'm not saying common sense to put you down, but usually most of these times, and that's why. What's the temperature there today? Because usually anytime the roof's open, you see a big difference in stats. I don't have it in front of me here, but it's just kind of like common sense where they're saying that the roof's open, the bat should fly. Not like it's 100 degrees in Texas yet. So that's why we do like the late Angels say too, guys like Upton, Trout. Anybody else at catcher? No. Maybe Torrance, something cheapest. I'll go with 3K. All right, so first base, Brad Miller is actually playing today. Lefty against a righty. This is also the other game you want to pick on. Philadelphia at St. Louis. First of all, going for Philadelphia is Zach Wheeler. Wheeler is a much better pitcher at home than he is on the road. Like, it's a huge difference. Like two or three earned runs. He's got like a 5 ERA on the road, like a 2-something at home. So I am looking at Cardinals against Zach Wheeler today. Actually, both sides said the wind's blowing out. So Wheeler's going to be popular. Miller is going to be popular at 3-2. He's looking right now as the highest owned first baseman on our cheat sheet at 21%. No problem going there. He's actually leading off. Great spot. Wainwright has been doing much better. This one game, I think his last game had 10 strikeouts. But still Adam Wainwright. He's not the Wainwright that was a Cy Young candidate years ago, especially in the wind. But I don't know. Miller at 3-2 is going to be popular. But all these guys, I said Wheeler, you want to look at Cardinals because of his row struggles, and then same with Wainwright. So Miller is going to be popular. At first base, Freddie Freeman is to pay up. He's not a 220 batter, whatever he's batting right now. He's going to break out of it. He's home. The stadium was built for Freeman. He's going against Zach Davies. FanDuel, he's underpriced. He's 3.9 on FanDuel. So I guess if you're playing FanDuel, is lock him in at 3.9. That's what I would do. It's a little bit different on DK, 6K. So he should be able to handle Zach Davies. I don't think you can afford him on DK if you're paying for Corbin Burns at 10.4 and Trevor Rogers at 8.4. I'm probably going to drop down. I love Yuli Gurriel today in Houston. He's been on fire. He's always crushed lefties, especially this season. He's got 286 ISO, 357 batting average. Good spot. Jared Walsh from the Angels is also a good spot today. Now that the lineup is out, I'm assuming Walsh is playing. He's batting 5th. Anthony Rendon is back, batting cleanup today. So Walsh is in a good spot. Man, you got that Trout, Rendon, Walsh in there. And then Jay up batting 6th. That's a pretty tough order there against Jordan Lyles, who's kind of a gas can. Cheaper guys, now Zwollenfor has left the game, I think, early yesterday, but he is playing. He's a lefty masher, probably more of a GPP play, but we know he crushes left-handers. Gomber's a left-hander. Like Flores, I like Trey Mancini today against Debbie Garcia, who I think Garcia could get blown up today in this type of environment. A lot of people like Garcia. I'm a Yankee guy, and Garcia does nothing to impress you right now. So I like Mancini today. I actually would like the Orioles as kind of a sneaky stack. So Mancini's batting 2nd. Rady on Rady. The thing with Garcia is is an extreme fly ball pitcher. So Mancini could let one loose. So could D. Stewart. Is Ryan Mountcastle's batting 7th. He's at 3-4 today. I can see using Ryan Mountcastle today, probably more of a GPP play. But he's in play. If you really want to punt, you got Blandino for Cincinnati leading off. Actually, not a bad play against Urias. He's leading off. This guy's only 2-4. He's got hits in 4 of his last 6 games. His minimum price. So that's probably your punt play right there. If I could get to Yuli Gurriel today, I'm going to play Gurriel. If not, I might have to get stuck with Brad Miller. So one or the other, but you can't go wrong. Also got Yandy Diaz at 3-3 for the Rays. I guess he's in play. But to me, it's Freeman. Freeman's too expensive. To me, it's Gurriel. If not Gurriel, I guess drop down to Miller. To me, it seems like Brad Miller's been around forever. But I don't know. Second base. So we start running into more Yankees here. Ro Godor is going to be highest owned on both sites. He's sitting there at 3-1 on DK, 2-2 on the FanDuel. He's going to be really popular. He's batting cleanup again in Camden Yards against Matt Harvey. I hate to say it, it scares me that Odor is chalk, but I guess, I mean, you got to play him, really. He's going to get you value other places. I mean, you go. I mean, if you're gonna attack Matt Harvey, you're gonna do it with lefties. So I guess I get Odor's to play. I'm probably gonna use him. I'm still in love with Jed Lowry. I think Lowry's in a great spot. He's just playing so well. He's so underrated. I mean, Rich Hill's been struggling. 321 ISO right-handed bats, and Lowry's totally smashing left-handers right now with 420 WOBA, 55% hard contact. Lowry's probably the best second baseman on the slate. And just can we afford him? If we have all the money in the world, money didn't matter, then I would be using Ozzie Albies just because Zach Davies is struggling. So is Albies, but like Freeman, this is a get-right game for these guys. I think they're going to go off. Same with Denard. But Albies is also in a 5K range. But, man, if you're going to play any Braves today in cash, you're going to me, you play either Freeman or Albies. You want the left-handers against the lefties against Davies, and that's Freeman and Albies. What other than probably end up going off today? Is there any other lefties in that Braves lineup? Probably not, right? Is Albies a switch hitter? Yeah, that's it. So, they're the two you want in cash. On FanDuel, it looks like Gleyber Torres is so cheap. I think he's on FanDuel. I think he's second base eligible on FanDuel. That's what I have here. Another guy is Nick Matone. He's been playing short for Phillies, but he's also second base eligible. And I didn't realize he's had 4 straight multi-hit games now. He's had a hit in all 6 games the kid's played. So you get him as a total punt. I have no problem going to a guy like Nick Matone. If you want to be different, especially in GBPs, you don't want to go to Odor, run out Nick Matone out there. And Matone's actually in a decent spot today. Like we said, Wainwright is not going to strike out 10 batters again. So maybe Matone's batting 8th. Wow. Odubel Herrera is actually playing today against Wainwright. That's a sneaky play in the outfield. And he played DFS for a few years, knows Herrera. Nico Horner at second. Well, if you're going to play, my problem is I like Morton so much. So, but if I don't use Morton in cash, yeah, 2.7. Yeah, I guess. I mean, his last 3 games, he's 4 for 8. No, he's producing fantasy points. It's not like he's had a home run or anything, but he had 13 and 17 in 2 of those 3 games. So yeah, I guess Nico Horner's play. I didn't even realize he was leading off. You just said it. It's a good call, Dan. Yeah, so put Horner in there. If I could get the Jed Lowry, I'm going to get the Lowry. If not, I think cash. I think you got to go to our door because he's going to be so high owned. And if he does go yard, because he's batting cleanup and you don't have him, you're kind of going to be outside looking in cash. So, like I said, I'm not saying use him in GPPs. That's probably the way you want to zig when you be zagging that play. But yeah, Ryan McMahon, like as a GPP play, definitely. He's going to be low owned because he's not in cores. But McMahon's kind of riding on a little bit of a hot streak right now. So I could definitely McMahon's batting cleanup today too. So that's a decent spot. And McMahon's had hits in 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 7 games. Last 2 games have been double-digit DK. That's one of your sneaky plays a day. I think McMahon against the righty, that's Capilani. Trevor Story's sneaky too. All right, that's what we got for second base. Rolling around to third base. I'm all about Alex Bregman today. I love Bregman today. He's at home. He's got that short porch. He crushes at home, smashes lefties. Sheffield's a lefty. He's got a 422 WOBA with 254 ISO against lefties. Lock in Bregman, I think, is he's one of my core plays today. Definitely. I actually think I listed my article as one of my top core plays with Burns. I don't even think anybody even comes close to him at third today. I like Longoria. But also gonna be sneaky. He still smashes lefties. Here's a stat that surprised me earlier today. So he's 8 for 16 against lefties this year. It's 500, and 4 of those 8 hits have been home runs. Now he's in a pitcher's park in San Francisco, but he still has a 404 WOBA at home. So if for some reason you can't get to Bregman, I would go to Longoria. I think he's a great spot. Matt Chapman, I think he's fairly cheap today, but there's reasons for it because to me, Matt Chapman will always be a GPP play. But he's batting 5th. He's cheap on FanDuel, 2.9. DraftKings is 4.9. I'm not paying for Matt Chapman, who hasn't had a double-digit game in like 2 weeks or at least a week. Austin Riley is a good pivot off. Some people are going to go to Odor at third because he's third base eligible. So I guess you can go to the third. The cheat sheet is going to probably show us Odor at third too. But you can only play Odor in one spot, obviously. If not, then you go to Bregman. Gio Urshela is 3-4 on DK. I guess you can go there, but these Yankees to me are GPP plays. Gonna be chalky stack going against Matt Harvey. Am I missing somebody? Probably not. I'm all about Bregman today. Bregman or Longoria. Lock one of them in. Total San Francisco game is 4-3. Yeah, I've been seeing that high all season for San Francisco. It's a pitcher's park. And I kind of like the San Francisco lineup. I have no problem rolling out a giant stack today against John. And a lot of people like Jomber, and they think Jomber is a good pitcher. And I think he is too. I think he's probably one of the better pitchers the Rockies have, especially outside of Coors. But he's still a young kid. But I was just looking for his stats here outside of Coors, but he's another guy. He's a fly ball pitcher, I believe. But the good thing about him, he's going to go deep into games. He doesn't walk people, and he does get batters to chase. So, but that's not going to scare me off using guys like Wilmer Flores has been hitting lefties for his whole career, smashes them. Austin Slater clean up, not a bad spot. Longo bat and clean up. Let's say to lead off. Longo batting cleanup and Buster batting 5th. I'm over those 2 guys. All right. Buster's probably going to make my lineup, and Longo will probably be like my alt without Bregman. So we're talking about going back to Nico too. And I would probably, I don't know, as I do like Morton, but I just can't take Odor in my main lineup. But if you don't, I guess Nico's a play there. Good spot leading off. Shortstop. I'm all over Correa today. Obviously, I like the Astros today. If I can get Correa and Bregman in my main lineup, I'm going to do that. They're one of my favorite stacks. Is the Astros line? They're not even. I don't know why they're not out yet. Them and the Dodgers, only 2 teams that aren't out. Unless has anybody seen the Astros lineup? I'm assuming Altuve's leading off again. As long as he's leading off, I'm all over him. Anybody else we're going to look at? Oh, Horner's shortstop eligible also? I didn't realize that. So Horner's shortstop eligible. Corey Seager to me is a GPP play. Great spot. Dodgers are going to be low on tonight. So Corey Seager spot. Glaber, he's always popular. So I see Correa down on the ownership, only 7%. So if you're, yes, I guess you can play Nico at short and Odor at second. If you really want to load up. But Correa is 5-4. It's going to be tough to get Correa and Bregman in that same lineup. If I want to bat in the outfield, so I'm pretty much going to go cheap today in the outfield. But not sure if you can do it with Burns and Rogers playing. So if Correa's not playing, yeah, I could dig that Nico play. I mean, he's righty on righty. Let me see. What does Nico do against righties? I mean, he's got a decent sample size. I was 175 at bat since 2019. I mean, he doesn't hit righties strong. but said he's been hitting since he's been in the lineup the last couple of games. So, I mean, it is what it is. He's leading off, dirt cheap minimum. I guess he's in play. I don't like it against Martin, but I may end up using him. So, if not, I'm all about Correa today. Torres is always going to be popular. He just something's wrong with him. Either he's not. If you watch him hitting, he's not there. Like most of these Yankees, but he's going to be popular. Korea's 6. Oh, so okay, the lineup is out. So who's leading off for? Why does Houston keep messing with their lineup? This is crazy. I don't have Houston's. I still have it as not out yet. So who's leading off for Houston then? No. Never mind then. Okay, so outfield. Couple big bats. I like Bryce today. There's one more name, a shortstop. I almost went by him. It's Paul DeJong. DeJong against Wheeler. When he had the 2 home run game, that was against Wheeler. We said Wheeler does not pitch well on the road. This could also be a spot. If I can't get to Korea, I may go to Paul DeJong. I knew I was missing somebody there. He's not showing a lot of ownership, but he's kind of a weird player. But when he gets hot, he gets hot. And actually, I think in the last 10 games, I brought it up in my article. He's batting 500 over his last 10 games, but hits in 7 of them. So with Wheeler struggle on the road, he obviously sees Wheeler well. I like DeJong a lot. Dansby Swanson is only 3.9 on DK. Another braid that's struggling. I guess you can play him. And Freddie Galvis. When you can get Freddie Galvis against a righty, he's a switch hitter. But when I see Galvis against righty with a fly ball pitcher, I'm going to use him. And that's who I was thinking of going to tonight is Galvis. He has pop when he's against a righty. Switch hitter. All right. Sorry about that from jumping back to shortstop. Okay, now the outfield today. Bryce Harper's one of my top players. He's hotter than hell. Good spot today. The problem is I don't know if you can pay for him today. Wainwright right now is giving up 381 WOBA but a lefty bat since 2019. He's in play. Now, we know Trout was playing. Trout was probably the top play. He's in a primetime matchup with Jordan Lyles, no doubt. But you probably don't have to go that high today. If not, you can go all the way down. I like the ace today. I like Ramon Laureano, power speed guy. 8 stolen bases, 3 homers this year. Right now, he's probably the best hitter against lefties. You can roll Laureano out there. Who else do I have? One of my top play? DJ Stewart. I'm all over today. DJ Stewart's probably going to make my main lineup. That's why I'm going to go cheap. You got DJ Stewart at 2.8, I think he is. He puts the ball. He's a lefty. He puts the ball in the air. Garcia's a fly ball pitcher in a hitter's park. This game is set up for DJ Stewart. 359 WOBA, 250 ISO, 50% fly ball. These are all elite numbers in Camden. DJ Stewart is making my main lineup along with probably Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson right now is one of the hottest hitters in baseball. He's now moved the number 2 spot, showing power. He's got 6 hits in his last 8 at-bats. I love Carlson today. I love Stewart. That's going to allow me to maybe get to like a Correa and Bregman and some of these other guys. Justin Upton's going to show probably some ownership. I don't like he's dropped down to 6 today, but now he's hot. He's not really hitting for power, but I think he's got hits in like his last six straight games, something like that. Yeah, 9-game hit streak. So Upton's going to be popular. Mitch Haniger from Seattle is going to be popular. Stanton always is, especially against Harvey. You're all you guys like over 20%. But I'm probably going to lock in DJ Stewart, lock in Dylan Carlson, and then I can maybe go up to a Trout, or at least mid-priced. Anybody else for cash games? I think Willie Calhoun at 2.9, a decent dart play. Austin Hayes, who had 2 homers yesterday at 2.6 against Garcia, he's in play. FanDuel, Aaron Judge is only 3.5. So if I'm playing FanDuel, Aaron Judge is in my outfield 3.5 against Harvey. It's a little bit more expensive on DK. Stanton's high over cash playing DK at 4.9 over there. So I would think you can go cheap with a guy like an Upton, Carlson, or GJ Stewart, and then go expensive even. I mean, Acuna's in a good spot, or a Trout. Those top two guys. Anybody else have any questions about the outfield plays? The more I look at Mitch Haniger, I mean, it is a righty versus righty, but Urquidy has really struggled. So you got, I do now I do see why the ownership is so above 20% on Haniger, 4-1. So I do like Haniger. Like I said, the Oakland guys. Jared Walsh, I didn't bring up him. He's in a good spot. That's pretty much it. Unless you go to a little bit of some more stranger plays, like I said, Austin Slater, I think is a good spot leading off. You can definitely roll him. But I'm kind of stuck on a few of these cheap guys. I just think I love Carlson, and I love the spot DJ Stewart is in. Aaron Hicks, another one at 3.3. You should go Hicks. The problem with these Yankees, though, seems like every time that they're chalk and every time they're popular, they don't come through, even when it's a guy like Matt Harvey. All right, I guess that's it going around. I put in my article, pretty much my core plays, I think, are going to be Bregman and Corbin Burns. I had Correa. I just don't know if I can get to him. I'm going to do everything I can to get to Correa. I just love Bregman and Correa today. I like Posey. That's pretty much it. So your top values are still going to be, to me, Dylan Carlson and Odor. And then you can look, I guess, Nico Horner in there too. And don't sleep on some of these cheapies like this kid for Philadelphia who just continues to hit. This kid, what's this kid's name from Philadelphia? I just drew Nick Matone. All right, prize picks. I put a couple of prize picks in my article. YF's code YFC. I put 3 of them today. I really like Trey Mancini over 7. Like Arenado. Arenado, I didn't even mention Arenado, but I think Arenado over 7's in a really good spot. Alex Bregman over 8.5. They're my 3 top prize pick plays. All right, anybody have any questions? We got done fairly early today. I'm by myself. Faith in Stanton cash. Yeah, I gotta say yes. Even though, yeah, he's too good of a hitter not to come out of this slump here. And the spot he's in today, this is definitely get right spot for all these guys. He's batting second. He's batting in front of Judge. There's reason to put him at second today. He got 1 hit yesterday, his first at bat. He was 1 for 4 Saturday. On Friday night, he had 2 dongs. I mean, he looked good on Friday night swinging. So, yeah, he did go up a little bit at 4.9. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to him. I just think I'm using too much value other places. But, yeah, he's in play. I had Dylan Carlson as my sneaky play. He might not be as sneaky as I thought, but he's my sneaky play of the night. Any other questions? Lineup questions? The cheat sheet will be updated one more time. Like I said, check this cheat sheet out if you're anybody new. It's by far the best in the industry. It's got the Woba on there, the 2 main stats I look at, Woba and ISO. It's got the hand, the pitcher's hand, it's got the Vegas totals. Devin does a great job combining. I mean, his ownership is usually spot on. I mean, I look at the other sites' projections and ownership, and there's nobody even close to us with ownership projections. So take a look at it. It's going to be updated one more time. And then the main thing is make a decision on who you're going to do as your SP2. Is it going to be Morton or Trevor Rogers? All right. Guess that is it. Thanks, guys. We'll be on again tomorrow night. It's another Tuesday night, big slate, 6 p.m. And that's it. We're out of here.